Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA,
where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And guess what? If you forgot what that means, AFA way. Nurse Mark wrote a book. He wrote a book. It's a best-selling, right? Amazon bestseller.
It needed to be written, Sherry, and there's another one that needs to be written. I'm just going to write again. We got to keep talking about this, right? You're absolutely fucking amazing, exactly as you are. You don't need to do anything to be better or different or throw that shit out the window. You are absolutely fucking amazing, exactly as you are right at this moment. Okay. I know maybe you don't believe me.
Yeah, maybe it's okay.
Listen to other people or that.
I'm going to tell you, it's amazing because this is why I love to do these shows in the morning, because here we are reminding each other in the midst of what some may say is chaos or world dysfunction, or it is what it is. So here it is. It's what it is, right? It's think about this. We have
dysfunctional. Yeah.
Trillions of people that are living in trillions of their own different universes. Everyone is in their own universe. Just think of this. This is a universe.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing, Sherry. There's 8 billion people, right? There are people who are having the most perfect life that they could ever have conceived of and enjoy every single bit of it. And then there are others who suffer throughout their whole life. It's the same world. It's the same time span.
Same stories.
Like
same
the
feelings.
world is chaotic. Yes. And it will always be chaotic. Yes.
Don't take it personally.
For me.
So do I. Well, here it is. Here it is, Mark, right? Don't take what the world hands out personally. Right. I'm telling you, I've been there. I've been there in 3 years of pure friggin' hell.
Yeah.
Right. And totally thinking that I was not AFA because I couldn't show up in the world the way I wanted to.
Oh my God. Sherry, so if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be able to share this experience with people on a daily basis. Like that's the gift. You needed to do that. You were called to do that. Suffer, Sherry, suffer. But then
the blessing is in the mess. The blessing is in the mess, which is in the message.
Somebody told me, I heard this recently. Ready? The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. I heard that.
I did. And that's, can I tell you, and the joy in the journey in that moment in time when I was really suffering with chronic illness came when I had that experience with my friend who was 70 years old, who brought me a joint. Helped to change my perception instantaneously. The pain melted away. My head cracked open. Yeah. And here we are today. I was brought the what?
We really need to talk about, Cher. Hope. We really need to talk about that because people probably have this perception that you've been a stoner your whole life. Like you've been, pro cannabis your whole entire life. It's not necessarily the case. You had stigma around the plant when you first started, right?
Well, I hid it. So, I experimented in high school. I experimented in college.
A lot of us.
All these things. And then as an adult, it wasn't like, if I would go out with friends, it would be a cocktail. If someone had a joint, I'd take a hit. But it wasn't like a part of my life.
Right.
And I think part of the huge stigma.
Medicine.
No, not as a medicine. Absolutely not as a medicine. And even using it as a medicine, I was plagued with stigma. I hid. I didn't want anyone to know. The story's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So literally, I picked a town that I didn't know anyone to get my medical card. It was in the wintertime. I had a big giant coat. I had the scarf over my head, the glasses on. Seriously, picked a time where I didn't think I would know anyone. Yeah. And it was really it was gut wrenching. And I feel for so many people what they go through. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to make it easy for you. We're decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good and use this plant.
Everybody's got something. Don't let them fool you.
Everyone's got
all illusion. Everybody's got something. It's called being human. Holy good God.
Being human.
Yeah, some of us are more blessed than others with these little tweaks, but Actually, no, everybody's got it. Well, let's say
Yeah.
good morning to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to
Hello. I know. Thank
Holy
you
shit.
all for
There's
joining
somebody named
us.
Carrie Lee here, Sherry. Who
Carrie
you know
Lee.
somebody named Carrie Lee? I don't know
Oh,
if I
Carrie
haven't seen
Lee.
her in so long. I don't know.
Carrie Lee's
Kristen,
been,
Susan,
I'll tell
Glenn,
you
what's
what.
up? Beth, Jack. Oh
Yep.
yeah,
I
Ashley.
can't see anyone. Let me just see names.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
here
going
we
down
go.
the list.
Great. You're going down the list. You know what? Thank you
Lisa.
guys.
What's up?
Thank
Good
you all
morning,
for
everybody.
joining us. So here's the cool thing about being a green nurse, Nurse
Yeah.
Mark.
Hey,
We
Trish.
what do we call it? Green nurse on the go. So Carrie
Oh
Lee
my
was able
God.
to go on vacation with her
We're
family
global, baby.
and being able to enjoy herself, but at the same time able to work. I thought that was really cool. So that's the benefit of becoming, a cannabis nurse, cannabis nurse coach.
Time.
Yeah, you can still, if you want, if you so choose, you can still choose to work, which I think is really cool. And the part that's so cool about what we do, Mark, is that it's not like it's work, because we have fun teaching people. We have fun bringing hope. We have fun bringing inspiration. No kidding.
Yeah. I've been doing
well,
that
here's
lately.
the thing too.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
I
I'm back
know.
to, I only want to do things that are fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Exactly.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like some people look at different jobs and they say, oh, that wouldn't be fun at all. I look at some of them and say, wow, I'd really like to try that and try it.
Guess what, Nurse Mark?
Yeah.
Guess what, Nurse Mark? This is one of the things too that I never thought I would be doing. Podcasting, showing up every morning at 8 a.m. Right?
I know.
Educating. And so here's what's so cool about us. I'm not that
great with commitment. If you know my track record, ask any of my past girlfriends. I'm not great with commitment. So for me to show up at 8 a.m. every morning, that's a big deal.
Well, here's
this
is what's really important that I'm just going to bring up. So we've been doing this because we love the plant. We're here to serve the plant, the people, and the planet. We're here to educate and empower. We're here to relieve suffering and improve quality of life through our podcasting. Well, guess what? I wasn't expecting this, but Nurse Mark, we got an award.
Oh, of course we did, because
we got an award.
Absolutely fucking amazing.
Right? So I wanted to give a...
Yeah, we got that because people listen to us, Sherry. They like what we do.
Well, here it is. It's
tell them what it is.
So it's the best radio show podcast 2021, the Cannabis Awards. And it was given to us by Mike Wise. So if you don't know Mike Wise, he has been around. Yeah. He's been around for a while. He's a media guy. He's an educator. He's a podcaster, and he's really into the FECO full extract cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil.
Listen, so Nurse Mark, I always wanted some bling. I'm going to change out that blue thing. I'm going to get me a big gold chain. I'm going to wear that.
Okay, so here we go. Let's put it on. Lean forward. Lean forward. Oh, here we go. Woo, right around. Look, it's the shape of a heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the number one? Hey, thanks, Jamie Rollins Worcester. Thanks for the congratulations. Listen, Sherry, you mentioned all of the reasons that we do this. You know what? The number one reason is it's fun. Oh, hell yes. We have fun doing this. We have fun interacting with everybody. It's a blast. Spread the word. Let's spread the word. We'll have a great time.
We will. And the thing that's cool too is like what I really like is, not only bringing that hope and inspiration, the daily love, bringing the cannabis education to the health awareness tools, sharing stories. And also, part of our healing is, what is it? Feel, deal, heal, share, see, soar.
Oh my God, Here we go. Sherry with her word salad. I love it. It's like she's always got like hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. That was just like came out of her head one meeting that we had. She's like, oh, hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. I'm like, fucking genius. Okay.
No. It was the cannabis plant that was whispering sweet nothings into my ear, right?
Yes.
Like basically
it's growing in your head. It's like if they open it up, it's going to be a cannabis plant.
I know, right? I'm flowering every day.
Green Nurse Denise.
Oh my God, Green Nurse Denise. This is so fun. This is what? Happy Hempy Hump Day.
Whoop, it's Hump Day, everybody. Right? Whatever that means to you. Boom.
Whatever. Well,
baby.
It means Happy Hempy Hump Day, right?
Yeah.
So it's about nourishing our endocannabinoid system, mind, body, spirit.
All
And
of
this
that.
leads into the daily love.
Listen, we riffed for a little bit here. Yeah, so let's
I love
get
rifting.
to
We're
the daily
fun.
love, babe. This is a good one because we're gonna keep going every freaking day. I know people who listen to the Daily Love are probably like, oh my God, another one of these. What you think is what you get. Yeah, no shit. You got to continually tell ourselves this because we get immersed in the human experience and we're just doing shit, right? We're human doings. We're not human beings. So let's just rip right into this sucker. This is a good one today. It's from You Are What You Think by Dr. Wayne Dyer. So we're pulling it again. Here we go. Get ready now. Prepare yourself.
I'm ready.
Mentally focus.
I'm taking notes.
Mentally focus, everybody. I want you to really hear this. Ready? The subconscious mind possesses the power to manifest physical reality from your thought. Every object and circumstance in this world is representative of a mental thought. All that now exists was once imagined. Such is the power of the subconscious mind. But in order to partake of this incredible powerhouse of creation that you are, you must be able and willing to experience within yourself, in your mind, that which you wish to manifest. Thoughts become things when you feel them and are able to impress them upon your subconscious mind, which will then take over.
Mark, I really love that. So let me just tell me if this is what I heard. Well, this is what I heard, but tell me what you think.
Tell me what did you hear?
So this is what I got. I got the subconscious mind can manifest physical reality. If you can think it, you can do it because you created it in your mind. So creating it in your mind is a doing. Right. So if you can think it, you can do it because you already created it in your mind. So thoughts become things when you feel them. So here it is, right? So I can even just think about even my own life of sitting there in front of the table with all this cannabis as medicine, staring at me at the face. And I felt it because I knew that it helped me. I knew immediately. So my thought was, I can figure this out. You can call me the green nurse. I want to spread the message to relieve suffering and improve quality of life. So this is so true. So as I started to learn about plant medicine and I was able to integrate it, not only as medicine, but as a health and wellness tool, it's completely 100% changed and morphed. And we've manifested the green nurse, manifested nurse Mark, manifested the green nurse, manifesting the coming together in unity consciousness to elevate, right? So it's a bigger concept. And I would have never been able to truly grasp it and understand it if I was in the same mindset I was when I was sick and suffering, right?
Well,
so it was that change.
Big global reality check. Okay.
You got it.
So
Cheers.
all of
Global
stuff that we have in our world right now, what we're doing, computing, computers, internet, skyscrapers, buildings, airplanes, cars, all of the components for all of those things have been in the world since the beginning of the world, right? Like 2,000 years ago, they were using horse-drawn carts and donkeys, right? All of the stuff to create what we have today was present in the world at that moment. The only thing that was missing was the thought of the manifestation. It was that idea that it's possible, right? That's the only thing that was missing. Over time, all of that was introduced into the human existence. And here we have this amazing life. So 100 years from now, there's stuff we don't even have any knowledge of, like stuff that we can't even conceive of that's going to be in the world of that 100 years from now. So
can I tell you what's funny? My son,
busy manifesting, folks.
Well, it's interesting because my son, you know, I don't know if you guys know my son, but he's a miracle in my life. He's overcome every obstacle, but he has these really deep insights and he's really funny. So he's manifesting. He didn't like traffic. We were sitting in traffic. And so he said, Mom, I'm going to invent flying motorcycles. Cool. Flying motorcycles is a great idea.
Far-fetched. I think he will do it. I do.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
here it is.
You know what? His experience of life is different. He's had a lot of challenges that he's had to meet, you know, and overcome. So his experience of the world is, I can do any fucking thing I want. Like a lot of us get, you know, thrown on this thing of, well, we can't really do that. We listen to other people. We get that layered on. He doesn't deal with that at all. His world is, yeah, I'll do whatever I want because I've done all of these things.
I've
So
overcome all of these challenges.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's cool too. So when I asked him a question, I said, Nick, you make up your mind to do something and you do it.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, you know why? He watched not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was one of his favorite movies, but Forrest Gump. So he watched Forrest Gump. It's one of his favorite movies. And he said, Forrest's mom, he listened to his mom. This is what my son said. Forrest Gump listened to his mom, and his mom said, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
That stuck in his head.
Yeah.
Right. And so he was my teacher. He learned from a movie. and then he was my teacher and showing and demonstrating grit, resilience, never giving up, following your dreams and doing what you can, you know, to make it happen. So, yeah.
And he does. He manifests like a motherfucker. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Whatever he wants.
He's fun.
All right. Share.
Here we are. Wednesday.
What are we talking about today? We're talking about migraine headaches because I don't know about you, but I've had a few in my life. Luckily, not many, but I can tell you I have had a few, and
I've had very many of them. It's one of my medical
that have, you know, you and some very close friends that suffer from migraine headaches on a daily basis. So, and you know,
it's
having
really
done a lot of research around migraines and cannabis, you know, it's the fact of the matter is women tend to suffer with more migraines than men.
Yeah. And here's another really interesting thing, and we're going to get into it a little bit more. And when we see migraine headaches on someone's past medical history, whether they have them currently or they've had them in the past. So this is really interesting too, because it's a key indicator. And we're going to talk about a little bit more in detail about the endocannabinoid system. If someone has a history,
the endocannabinoid system
automatically, right? So you think about it, and people can manage it, and then there's a lot of people that can't, and then you have the other comorbidities, the other disease processes, and you can see that there's a spiral, right?
Yeah.
So National Migraine and Headache Awareness Month is in June of 2021, and it's an opportunity to raise awareness about migraines and other headache diseases. So Mark, this is a big number. There's over 40 million people in the United States that are plagued with migraines.
Right.
And in the world, there's 1 billion people across the globe.
1 billion people across the globe suffering with migraines. And they're debilitating, right? And it's the number one. It's the number 2 cause of disability worldwide.
Which is a lot.
Disabling. You cannot do anything else while you have a migraine headache.
16 million people with migraines in the United States go underdiagnosed. You know, they're hard to diagnose. It's a lot of, I remember when, spending months trying to figure out what was going on with me. And then
what causes them.
Yeah.
We really
don't. They have some
ideas. They have some theories. Nothing has been conclusively proven. If it were, then we'd know what to do to solve it, right? We don't. We know things that work to help, and we'll get into that.
Yeah. So here's the thing too. So think about the pandemic, right? We talk about stress, trauma. Everyone's been experiencing trauma. So there was a survey that was done since the pandemic, and it revealed that there was a 70% rise in the number of migraine attacks.
Right.
Because 84% more people have stress trying to manage their disease. So
and
just think
what happens when you're stressed? The hormone levels in your body and the neurotransmitters are all thrown into chaos, and things
your adrenal glands
balance. You're out of homeostasis. Your endocannabinoid system is affected, of course, because it's the largest neurotransmitting regulatory system. Things get out of whack when you're stressed. Stress is not a good thing.
No, it is not. It's not. That's in cannabis is great.
So
anyway,
there are some cases where stress might be helpful, but by and large, no. Chronic stress is the issue. Stress in certain places causes.
Well, here it is too. So, the interesting thing about stress is, they'd say good stress, bad stress. So like if people are excited, so it's like to shift your perception around that feeling, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm like, no, am I really stressed or am I excited? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having those dialogues with yourself. But anyway, so the thing about migraines is, yes, people that have migraines, think about it. The anticipation of not knowing when your next one's going to come on is debilitating. Some women are debilitated with them, or it's horrible.
Anxiety provoking. Holy cow. So it becomes this cascade. Anxious and anxiety is present in stress. Then you have a migraine.
Exactly.
Then you're back to this anticipatory anxiety of when the next one's coming. It's just, it's tough.
Yep. So think about this too. So migraines, we're going to get in a little bit more detail.
Yep.
It's a neurological condition of the nervous system. And it's also known as hemiplegic migraine, which could be one side, chronic migraine, ophthalmologic migraine. Wait, it's called ophthalmologic plegic. I can't even say it.
I have when I have a migraine.
Yes, that's cyclical vomiting, abdominal migraine, and cluster headaches. Really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So the symptoms can be so severe. They can range from severe pain, stiff neck, rapid mood swings. People can get auras, certain smells. Lights can start to flash, which they can, get the sensation that it's coming on. Nausea and vomiting, photophobia, sensitivity to light, hypersensitivity to light.
I get that one.
The one that I get is that the extreme sensitivity to sounds and smells. So just it's like the world seems really loud. Like I'm not even kidding. Like the vacuum cleaner going feels like it's blasting in my ear. Yeah.
Which is why one of the strategies is when you have a migraine, of course, and I think we'll get into this, is to put yourself in a dark room and shut down all of that things that are going on that could actually trigger it a little bit more. Yeah. So, I mean, they're recurring headaches that range from moderate to severe.
Yeah.
And severe migraine, Sherry, can last for hours or days and absolutely are debilitating to the point of curling up in the fetal position in the dark.
Yeah. And I agree with this statement because it's been described by many patients, and I can truly feel this. The pulse of my own heartbeat becomes a drum of pain pounding against the walls of my skull with no end in sight. And so this pain, a lot of times chronic pain, and especially headache pain, can induce nausea and vomiting. And like we had said,
absolutely occurs every time I get a migraine headache, Sherry. Every time. Vomiting. That's how I know that it was a migraine headache, because that's the indicator for me.
Yeah. So we also talked about the sensitivity to lights and sounds. I mean, I've had someone flash a light in my eyeballs and that triggered vomiting. So really sensitive. And so a lot of people too, like we said, can see paranormal flashes. They're called auras. And that may signal the migraine's arrival, right? There's other indications that we said. And some things too, which is interesting. People that have a craving for specific foods can indicate a migraine's coming on. The noises, the mood shifts of depression, anxiety, or, elation. There's usually, I know, like I can almost feel it. It almost feels like a headache in my nose and then it starts to move. But I haven't had these since I started cannabis, which is the good news. But anyways, it's really freaking good news. If I get a migraine headache now, I know that my endocannabinoid system is way, way out of balance because I just don't get them anymore. So with the traditional, right? So the traditional allopathic traditional medicine, the precise causes and cure for migraines remain unknown. But they say that one of the leading, culprits of what's happening inside our brain include abnormalities of the blood vessels, right? So you think about in a migraine, what's happening? The blood vessels. Yeah. So it's vasoconstriction, vasodilation, going back and forth. And so caffeine, so if you think about when it, you're constricting, you're dilating, you're constricting, it's like this, your head's contained, right? So the pounding drum sensation is completely 100% right.
Oh yeah.
And so then they have these hypotheses, like Mark, like the scientists, what do they hypothesize about?
Listen, because they're so prevalent, there's a lot of study that's been done around migraines, and still, I always go back to this. We know very little about this amazingly complex body that we live in, right? So we have hypotheses. We think we know maybe what's causing them. And some of those things are, you know, hormonal changes. Of course, we know hormonal changes cause all sorts of things in the body,
Right.
you know, having to do with mood and could be related to migraines because more women tend to have them. Well, women have extreme hormonal changes on a regular basis because of being female. So,
Right.
you know, it makes sense that there might be a link there. So we look towards that. Stressors, of course, we talked about that. Weather changes, which Jamie commented on. She had a big headache yesterday because of the barometric pressure change.
Pressure change.
Trigger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Food sources totally may play a role
Oh, yeah.
in triggering migraine attacks, but
Right.
the evidence still remains inconclusive because it's so complex.
That's why we love anecdotal evidence, because anecdotal evidence in my mind should be fueling the research for sure. You know, you have a number amount of people that are saying the same thing over and over and over again, you know, really important, you know, you gotta look at that.
Now, so Sherry, here we go. This is great right here. You know, it's individual observations. Well, listen, migraines might not be just one specific cause in every individual. It may be different little things in each different person, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like your endocannabinoid system. No two systems are the same. So same thing with migraines. The presentation of your migraine, how it manifests, what causes it, how it's going to go away is individual. Exactly. So that's what makes it such a difficult disease to manage. You know, so what is it too? So the triggers, you know, keeping diaries, you know, trying to avoid the triggers. You know, then there's the prophylaxis through lifestyle choices such as nutrition, exercise, cannabinoids.
Could we step back to that, Sherry? Diaries?
Yeah.
Can we step back to
diaries?
That is just so
Journaling.
important in any
I do it.
health management thing. Like if you're going to exercise, if you document what, you know, your starting point and your weights and stuff, and you document and you see that progress over time, that's powerful. If you're implementing a diet, which we talked about obesity last week, and we talked about the importance of
microbiome,
documenting what you eat on a regular basis in order to give you that starting point and to see progress. Same thing in any health related thing like a migraine. If you can document over time, you can see patterns and pick out things that say, oh my gosh, now I see when this happens and this happens and this happens, I usually end up with a migraine. So what can I do about these things that may be the triggers, right? So diaries are hugely important.
Yeah. And here it is too. Here's a really cool thing. And then we're going to get back to the endocannabinoid system. So just think, if the endocannabinoid system is the most important system in our body that regulates everything, wouldn't it make sense that that is the most important system that we should take care of? Because when we take care of our endocannabinoid system, everything else falls into place. So that journaling in that diary is really, what are we doing to support and nourish our endocannabinoid system? And it's just a reference point. It's an awareness point. So if different symptoms start to manifest, you can look back and say, oh, that chocolate cake that I ate, that might be contributing. Oh, you know what I mean? I didn't do any exercise for the past week. You know, I forgot to take my supplements. So you have all of these health and wellness tools and you track them. And this is, you know, and you can see the transformation over time.
Your endocannabinoid system is like the foundation on your house. If you don't build a good foundation, the house isn't going to stand very long. So we go to the umbrella. It's overarching. It's on top of everything else. So being good about doing things positive for your endocannabinoid system is absolutely the place to start. So Sherry.
Studies.
Dun, dun, dun. Of course, we've got some studies. We've got some studies, some specific ones. So we have 34 total that we looked at, right?
Yeah. It's a lot.
1 lab, 6 animal, and 22 meta-analysis. What's the overall positive data?
This got me very, very excited. And the reason why is because it's just spreading the message of plant medicine and how it works. Overall positive for cannabinoids for migraine headaches is 83%.
Right.
Now, they weren't able to give a clinical positive because they don't have any human clinical data. Right. So
I don't know. I think they might have missed the mark on this one because
did you find one?
I read some studies of cannabis related to migraines for sure.
Okay, because this was in Kanakee, so there might be.
Right.
All right, cool. All right, so this might not be the most. See, this is so exciting because this might not be the most updated information. So here's this. I did this. I produced the show last week. So just think in 1 week, the research could have changed.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That's all right. All right, cool.
You stay in the stream. I definitely have read studies even in the past where, they've done some studies related to migraine treatment with utilizing cannabis. So it's out there. But
it is the one lab, six animal.
What?
Chemotype 1.
Yeah.
Right? High THC and low CBD, which is interesting. So that doesn't necessarily mean that high THC and low CBD is the best choice for a migraine. That's the point I want to make. But the studies primarily focused on that because generally the studies that they've been doing in the past have primarily focused on just a single isolated molecule, and so now, they're starting to study other things, but that's the primary. And then the chemotype 2 and 3 were equally amount studied, but the primary was the chemotype 1, which is high THC. So, based on what Kanakee's documented last week, evidence-based scientific literature is still in its preclinical phase. And there's an abundance of anecdotal information.
Always.
And then there is. And so this is the thing too. So there's over a dozen trials that have directly examined the potential impact of modulating the endocannabinoid system to induce the analgesia in this population that suffers. So one of the largest meta-analyses to date recorded the data from over 12,000 cannabis treatment sessions. It was inhaled cannabis, and it reduced. So basically these patients self-reported a reduction in headaches and migraine intensity by about half. So just think you have over 12,000 people inhaled cannabis, and they all reported that their pain level decreased by half. So that's really, really good.
Pretty positive to me.
That's really positive. So it's like, all right.
For 6,000 people, it's a brand new day.
It's a brand new day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, here it was, Mark.
Over. I have to say, share.
So Dr. Ethan Russo, he is an amazing doctor. He's a neurologist, and he's done a ton of studies. He's one of the pioneers.
Super well known in the cannabis field, very well respected in the cannabis as a medicine field, for sure. A leader in the pack, for sure. Yeah.
And so he came up, with the hypotheses, and it's been proven over time that migraine headaches are related to an endocannabinoid deficiency. Right. So really quickly, just to remind you all, we make internal endogenous cannabinoids just like the plant to shower on our entire umbrella. It's an on-off switch. We're creating, we're degrading, creating endocannabinoids. We've got enzymes that break them down. On-off switch to keep our entire body in homeostasis. So if we're not making enough of our own internal endogenous cannabinoids to regulate our entire body, that's when we see things start to not work so well. So the greatest evidence, Dr. Ethan Russo said, for a clinical endocannabinoid deficiency is present for migraine, fibromyalgia, and irritable bowel syndrome. So, all of these conditions manifest as hyperalgesic states, painful type of conditions.
Right.
And they're clinically diagnosed based on the subjective criteria. And these conditions, which are hard to diagnose, they all lack tissue pathology. Test. Yes, there's no objective laboratory findings.
Which throws some clinicians for a loop, right? They're like, well, there's no evidence, then clearly it's just a manifestation of, of a psychosomatic, that's what they say. It's psychosomatic and it's all in your head. Well, Yeah, it's all in your head
because you're in
that's
pain.
where your brain is, right? And pretty much that it runs the rest of what's going on. Well,
Right.
in conjunction with other things. So some people like get upset when they hear, oh, it's psychosomatic, it's all in your head. Don't get upset. They're right. It is all in your head.
Well,
But okay, doc, figure it out. If it's in my
here's
head,
the thing
figure out what's in my head that's making this happen.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt because
Go.
this is important. When patients come to us, when they come to us and they
Mhm.
say, they don't know what's wrong with me.
Right.
Okay. I don't know how many times patients have come to us in chronic pain with multiple different conditions. And when I see migraine headaches on their intake form, I automatically go to what? Clinical endocannabinoid deficiency. And then I look at every single thing that they're doing or not doing in their lives.
Right.
And it kind of puts the puzzle together. So we see all these diagnoses. They don't know, they can't help me, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And so that's the important thing is migraine headaches are a clear indicator that your endocannabinoid system may not be up to par if you have that diagnosis and you're having a lot of other symptoms, a lot of other disease processes.
Yeah.
It's a good indication.
Sure
So the other thing too with these conditions, migraines, fibromyalgia, and irritable bowel, they all display an evidence of anxiety and depression, right? You think about it. Chronic pain, telling you, sick, suffering, chronic pain, not being able to take care of yourself, people, it does create a mental, emotional, 100% mental health challenges for sure. And the other thing too is all of these patients have been labeled, Mark just said it, psychosomatic in origin, right? They give the waist back diagnoses and clinicians are skeptical. Skeptical clinicians create what? Traumatized patients.
Of course they do. Yeah. Yeah.
So
because nobody, the human thing is nobody wants to admit that they don't know.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here's a good one. So the comorbidity is quite clear. So when you're looking at migraines, fibromyalgia, and irritable bowel syndrome, they they're all looked at, they looked at all these different patients. And so 97% of fibromyalgia patients also had headaches. That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
35% of 101 chronic daily headache patients or migraines also fit into the criteria of fibromyalgia. This is huge. 31% of irritable bowel patients were also diagnosed with fibromyalgia.
Right.
And then 32% of fibromyalgia patients also fit the criteria for irritable bowel. Mm-hmm. So you can see how they're all interlinked and connected. And that goes back to the endocannabinoid system. If you have an endocannabinoid deficiency, you just think about all these different connections, these different things, gut, brain, pain, all connected. So while some patients suffer from only a couple of these conditions, basically what they show over time is that you're at more risk to develop the other ones as well.
Yeah, of developing any one of those three together in combination is much higher. Yeah. So cannabis has been around as being used as a treatment for a long time. Yeah.
In Europe, North America.
Documented, in Europe and North America since, the mid 1800s, right? Through 1943 before it was completely prohibited. So it's been utilized and it makes sense.
Yeah. And, the documentation stated that there was a high degree of efficacy of cannabis treatment, both in acute and preventative treatments of migraine headaches. Right.
Yeah.
So here's interesting thing too, what they actually noticed, and this is connecting the dots to make everyone think, is that they noticed a decreased level of our own anandamide molecule in the spinal fluid of a migraine sufferer. Right. So you have to think about anandamide and 2-AG are two internal endogenous cannabinoids that we make to keep our umbrella going up and down smoothly. Mm-hmm. So people that have migraines have a depressed level. They don't have as much of that bliss molecule circulating in their body. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too that's happening in the brains of migraine sufferers is they actually have and overexpressed CB1 receptors.
Yeah.
So, you start to develop a migraine, the body goes, holy hell, I don't want this. This sucks.
More anandamide. Bring it on.
I need more anandamide. And so it starts to create more receptors. Your body is so smart, and our bodies want to heal, and our bodies want to do this. But if it doesn't have the necessary tools, it's not helpful. It just doesn't.
Right.
So basically we've got decreased anandamide levels in our body, and we have overexpressed receptors looking for the anandamide.
Yeah.
Right? And so you think about this too, there were reports that the frequency of migraine headaches may decrease with patients who use cannabis because the endocannabinoid system interacts and modulates so many different pathways that are related to migraines, such as what?
I can guarantee there have been studies that have had a positive result from using cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Using cannabis. Absolutely.
Yeah. So look at this. Look at these.
I'll find them.
Yeah.
So listen, how do they think it works?
There we go. Lots of different ways. Yeah.
Right.
So think about this.
Vascular activation. That's a fancy word for saying it works with your nerves and blood vessels. Okay.
Yep.
The trigeminal nerve.
In your face.
Indicated in this migraine pathway. And of course, vascular constriction and blood flow may play a role. So positive effect on that. Serotonin. Holy
huge.
Cow. Yeah.
So this is cool too. So think about if you don't have good blood flow, right? And you need to have good blood flow through your brain. Your brain, our vessels are dilating. So what the serotonin system with our own internal endogenous cannabinoids with pain is, it may release or decrease platelet stickiness, right? So our platelets are too sticky. Blood's gonna be, we want our blood to be smooth and flowing, right? So, and it improves 5-HTA. And so we have serotonin receptor signaling system, and they have all of these different pathways. This is one of them, right, Mark?
Yeah.
5-H2A.
Yeah.
What else we got going on in the brain?
Oh, your hypothalamus, it decreases the glutamate, and glutamate is the biggest excitatory neurotransmitter that we have in our bodies. And excitatory means on. So there's activity going on. So it helps to decrease that excitatory neurotransmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
basically,
Trish has a question. Anandamide is a cannabinoid and endocannabinoid, meaning your body makes that internally, and that's what works internally, created by our body with our cannabinoid receptors, similar to THC that's in the cannabis plant chemically.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, here's a really good image just to think of. The plant makes THC, we make anandamide, and the molecular structure is similar.
Yeah.
And so the THC molecule is 10 times stronger than our anandamide molecule. So it just, or the anandamide molecule is 1/10 the strength. So the endocannabinoid system is going on and off all day to keep all of our organ systems in harmony and balance. If you don't make enough of your own, it just makes sense. You have different systems that are being affected, and replenishing our endocannabinoid system with cannabinoids, plant phytocannabinoids. The goal is to have your own system start to create more of its own internal endogenous cannabinoids. So not just with the plant, but all of those hundreds of activities that we talk about.
Oh yeah.
Right. All of these different things.
Activities, right? Yvonne said exercise more to increase. Hell yes. Exercise. So good for your endocannabinoid system. So good for your body.
It is. And here it is. Exercise. Motion is the lotion. You exercise. You release the anandamide molecule, that bliss-like molecule that circulates. Right. It's like the endorphins giving you that pleasurable feeling. Here's a cool thing. You take CBD with it, and we're going to talk about your special. You take CBD when you exercise, what happens? It keeps your own anandamide molecule circulating longer in your body. That's why
great post-workout really is. Yeah.
Really good.
Totally
good stuff.
One of the best uses for CBD.
Really, truly is.
Yeah. So
this has been great. So the bottom line
really went along today. Thanks for hanging in there,
we did.
everybody.
I know. Thanks for hanging in. This is a really, really cool topic. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So bottom line, when it comes to migraine headaches, we want you
Yeah.
to think about mind, body, spirit. Look at everything that you're doing or not doing in your life, right? And think about incorporating tools that nourish the endocannabinoid system, what products that a lot of patients have found most helpful with migraines, in my experience, has been THCA, right, which is the raw plant. CBDA, I've seen work very well. Full spectrum CBD products and CBG. So these all have like a little bit of THC in them, not a full blown THC. I've had some patients that have taken too much THC with migraines, and what they told me is it was too much of intense, and it made their migraine worse. So this is really about, homeostasis and balance using plant phytocannabinoids. And if you can use raw plant medicine, really, really helpful. You're just really nourishing. So good stuff. Nurse Mark, speaking of CBD, full spectrum CBD, we have a special. You ready? Flag 50 while supplies last. 50% off all Nurse Mark products.
It's gone, baby. Reformulated.
And I have it.
All sorts of new stuff, all sorts of stuff. Everything's got to go.
Everything's got to go. Exactly.
It's good stuff too.
Good stuff.
I spent quite a while working with a pharmacist when I formulated this product line. Like we worked hard.
We're going to talk about.
I think it's the best tasting full spectrum CBD on the market because we worked
I
really
like it
hard
too.
blending the oils together to give it.
Well, you have a proprietary blend.
That phytocannabinoid taste, right? It's a plant, so it's going to taste a little murky if you don't work very hard at putting the right combination together. So but
this is the part that's so cool too. So it's all CBD products.
Yep.
And next week, Nurse Mark and I are going to talk about one of his other CBD products, because next week we're going to be talking about adaptogens. And an adaptogen is turmeric. And Mark carries a CBD product that has turmeric in it. And we're going to get to the science behind that.
Yeah.
And adaptogens work on our adrenal system. Another tool
that can help your endocannabinoid system. So,
yes,
Sherry.
Yep.
What are you doing tonight at 8:00, Sherry?
Well, we have, and this is where, this is great. You guys have to join us. This is a must-see show. Really, really excited. Elizabeth Mack from Holistic Caring is coming on, and we're going to talk about what propelled her to start her journey, creating Holistic Caring for patients, providers, and the programs that she's created. And we're really, really excited to be part of her community. Right. And so Mark and I have been building community, but we were like, you know what? Let's do this together. East meets West. We have so many skills and talents, so many different nurses. And so we are part of the Holistic Caring, the Green Nurse Holistic Caring community. Let's put that little link up there. It's actually, the link is also in the write-up. Where is it? There we go. Perfect. So join us in the community. It's free. So here's the thing that I want to really plug for the community, which is really important, is we love to teach, we love to educate. And this is a place where it's uncensored. So you're going to get a ton of information that is uncensored information. A lot of times Facebook and other social media platforms take stuff down. We want you to have the most up-to-date information. We want you to learn. The platform, like I said, is for patients and providers, all people that want to come together as a community to learn about how to make this plant work. Nurses will interact. There's different topics, and it's safe. It's a safe space. So come and join us there as well. And so we're going to talk about everything that platform offers. And I'm just so grateful that we're going to be a part of it. We're bringing the green nurse high to the platform.
Hell yeah. Going global. Going global.
Going global. Oh God.
All right.
This is a big deal.
We'll be back again tomorrow at 8 a.m.
We will.
After a spectacular show tonight at 8. And then, of course, Friday, Frequency Friday. Ooh, we're coming up on the weekend, baby. I can feel it. This hump day. I'm already over the top and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm doing a cannication starting Friday morning. So right after the show, up to Maine. Yep, Dexter, Maine. And we're going to be doing some really cool things up there. Tons of Dexter, Maine.
A lot happening there.
Yeah. So this has been a long one. Anyways.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Love you guys.
Have an AFA day.
Having an AFA day. I know.
Me too.
Listen, I know you will too. Yeah. Remember,
And
plant that seed in the subconscious. Whatever it is that you want, feel it. Feel it here now.
feel it.
And
I
that'll
feel
plant
you
that seed,
all.
and it will show up for
I feel
real,
you all
without a
coming with
doubt.
us.
All right,
Yes, I
Jeff.
feel it. Love you all. And remember what it's all about. It is all about living your best life and helping others do the same. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Hempy
Bye,
Hump Day.
everybody.